I had one goal for this episode: build a trading hall. Let me give you a quick update prior to starting this project. I strip mined for diamonds at y equals negative 60. Matt, you'd be long dead at y equals negative 60. That's where you're wrong. In 1.17, world height was extended both upwards and downwards by 64 blocks. One thing that stays consistent from 1.16 to 1.17 is that diamonds spawn more frequently the lower you go, and y equals negative 60 is the lowest bedrock free layer, so that's where I did my strip mining. And through that, I acquired full diamond gear. While exploring a surface cave, I also found a zombie spawner, which I turned into an XP farm. Using these levels, I applied basic enchantments to my gear. This left me quite powerful, but still far from a god set. So I started planning the trading hall. And after about an hour of playing around with different designs and creative, this is what I ended up with. This trading hall was going to be mainly composed of deep slate, endstone, and copper. Through my few hours of strip mining for diamonds, I had more than enough deep slate for this build. Endstone was a little harder to acquire. I've killed the ender dragon quite a few times, so the fight itself wasn't too difficult. However, back when I was searching for nether fortress, the closest one I found was in the Soul Sand Valley. It couldn't have been in a worse biome. I was overwhelmed by blazes, wither skeletons, and ghast, all at once. I even ended up dying during a run, but I got all my stuff back, so it wasn't a big deal. Glad this isn't a hardcore world. Even after considering that fortress incident, I can surely say that the most painful part of the material gathering process was the copper. Looking back at this ore generation chart, copper spawns most frequently at y equals 48, and its frequency decreases steadily as you move up or down. Every 100 blocks I strip mine gave me about 16 ores of copper, which translates to 4 blocks of it. And looking at the size of this build, which isn't even that big to begin with, you can imagine I had to do quite a bit of strip mining to get all the necessary copper. A little flash into the future. Snapshot 21W14A introduced raw minerals, which drops raw versions of iron, gold, and copper when their respective ores are mined with a non-silk touch tool. This made fortune effective on copper, which is amazing. If it had been introduced before I got all the copper I needed. Also, small update. Small update? There's no way they actually think that. I'm calling sarcasm on this one. Copper starts in this shiny, crisp orange state. It slowly ages, becoming stained in green until eventually turning completely green and dirty. However, waxing copper keeps it in its current state permanently. Thus, the last step in this project was waxing the roof. After more than a week of strip mining for copper though, I was just tired of working with the material, so I held off on waxing the roof for a bit. Meanwhile, I took advantage of all the rotten flesh from the zombie farm to get emeralds from a cleric. And using these emeralds, I worked on my god set. Snapshot 21W13A also came around, which allowed axolotl and glow squid to spawn naturally. I thought I would have to explore new caves to find these creatures, but I discovered while passing by a nearby river, this is not a river, what the hell is this? That they consistently repopulate these. I still don't know what the hell this is. Cave oceans, I guess you can call them. So I killed some glow squid and caught some axolotl, which leaves me with this current supply. I will eventually use these axolotls to raid a garden farm, so if you're interested in seeing that, hit the subscribe button. And hell, hit the like button while you're at it. It takes an extra half second. Come on. It literally hurts nobody. Bro, please. After a few days, I decided to get to work on waxing the roof. Waxing copper is as simple as right-clicking on it with a honeycomb. So I started on a bee farm. While working on the farm, a wandering trader passed by. Checking his trades, I realized that this guy was selling drip leaf. I had to get this. After spending 30 seconds getting one emerald from the trading hall, I got 2 pieces of small drip leaf, one of which I grew into 20 pieces of big drip leaf. I may use these later on to create a parkour course for myself, but I'm not sure. I also spent some time continuing work on my god set, but after realizing just how close I was to one, I decided to focus fully on it. Unfortunately, during this time, all the bees went through the nearby nether portal, which was not something I had foreseen. The idea of having to retrieve the bees and work on an enclosure to prevent them from entering the portal again caused me to procrastinate even more. But then, I completed my god set. At the same moment, I had a strong urge to make a video, so I got back to work on the bee farm. I initially wanted to retrieve most of the bees, but after becoming impatient after about 2 minutes, I decided I would start from scratch with 2 bees. Now, preventing this incident in the future was as simple as placing doors before the portal, but I also felt an urge to build. So I took this as an opportunity to build a whole ass bee house. And build a whole ass bee house I did. After consistently breeding the bees for a few in-game days inside the enclosure, I had enough bees working where each honeycomb collecting session gave me about a stack and a half of honeycombs, which made finishing the trading hall a walk in the park. It's been more than half a year now, but I am still just as excited for the warden as I was the first time I saw it. I really want to fight it in my god armor, see if this thing is really not to be messed with. It'd be a neat Reddit post too. Hell, even TikTok. Easy views.